Perfect timing.
Run. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here really late.
Just showed up, so we are right on time. Perfect timing. So, welcome everybody to Crit Chicks, our Wednesday night episode of Dungeons & Dragons, where I DM Dungeons & Dragons, please, lovely ladies.
I sound so enthusiastic about it.
That's our energy level right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So, welcome back everyone who tuned in last week. Everyone who's new, showing up, welcome as well. Before we get started, I got a few quick announcements. First and foremost, what do I usually do first? I have no brain today, guys.
We don't have.
You have a really pretty new DM screen.
I do have a very pretty. You guys can't see it. It's real pretty.
It's very
real
pretty.
Yes.
Yes. Danny, why don't you take it first?
Hi. So every Monday,
I'm laughing at you.
every Monday I host Mondays with Ministry right here on Dice Ministry, 1 p.m. Arizona time. Wherever you are, figure out how that works for you. We paint minis or play board games or whatever else we're feeling. Lots of snacks and talking and such. It's good. I'm also an individual streamer and also here on Twitch, Dubug351. Same as my Instagram down below. Every Tuesday and Thursday noon we do art, and then later in the evenings we do video games and stuff. And make sure you keep your peepers open on Mondays and Fridays. We upload past episodes of Crit Chicks and Natural One to our YouTube.
Yes, that means Natural One is back on Sundays. They had their first episode this past Sunday. It was awesome.
What?
That was Glenn. Speaking of media, Sheridan.
I have a podcast.
Yay!
New episodes every Friday. This week we're talking about Wayne's World, guys.
So
my favorite
Excellent.
movie. I'm super excited about it. So tune in Friday on we're still waiting for confirmation from iTunes for them to play our stuff, but it should be coming in the next couple days. But you can hear us on Spotify or the free apps, Anchor, Stitcher, or wherever else you find podcasts. So
Awesome. Awesome. And then over to Ashley and KT for the crafty stuff.
just us, not including that
And
one.
I know.
Melissa.
I'll say,
I mean,
anyway,
creature of habit. I'm sorry.
we make crafty things. I make these lovely beauties called dragon sacks. You can find them on my Etsy shop at etsy.com/dragonsack, one word. You can now get custom orders of these. I will do custom sacks in this size, which is a larger size, and I have a smaller size. And very soon, these beautiful dragon eggs will be available for custom order as well.
So nice.
Those guys are massive, just saying.
Because Stephanie needed a reason to buy more dice.
Everybody needs a reason to buy more dice.
Nobody needs a reason to buy more dice.
Just buy more
we
dice.
just do it,
Yeah.
do it anyway.
It's
It's unreasonable,
an addiction.
but yeah.
Yes. And very soon I will be having Dragon's Guild jewelry up as well.
Yay! That's awesome.
Your turn.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm awake, really, I promise. So, my shop is Geek Me Up Scotty, and I do assorted dice things, so keychains and rings and necklaces and I don't know, all the
Cufflinks
things.
and earrings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And bolo ties.
And bolo
Yes.
ties and leather bracelets and faux leather bracelets and randomness. Eventually we'll all be actually up on the store because I'm really slow. So, but yeah, so geekmeupscotty.etsy.com.
I also sell and make and sell things. This is what's gonna happen for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Brain and mouth are
on.
not connected. The Chic Fae go there for like nerdy jewelry. That's all I have today.
Awesome healthier gemstones.
Strong pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. On all of our shops.
Sometimes being an entrepreneur, you run out of energy.
You're like,
Yeah.
just buy my stuff.
Just go buy our stuff. Okay?
Use the code Dice Ministry at checkout. You get 10% off all of our shops.
True.
And then any special announcements from?
If you haven't heard, we have partnered with Dungeon Depths for all of our merchandise. So if you've been itching to get some Dice Ministry t-shirts or socks or beanies, check out Dungeon Depths on Instagram and check out their webpage. They've got some really cool stuff. Yay!
And then another quick special announcement. This week we have 2 birthdays.
Two birthdays!
We have of Dubog 351, Danny Bell over there.
The lovely good.
It was yesterday.
Yes,
Correct.
I can now rent a car.
Adulting.
And then
I know, I'm like, you're such a baby.
And then, just like me, waiting for the senior citizen discount in a few decades, Katie!
Happy birthday.
Birthday's tomorrow?
Yes.
Tomorrow. Happy birthday.
We just had to sandwich
Aw.
Yes.
the thing.
Yes.
I can think words. So it's hard.
Aww.
We know.
I'm not sure if I can pull mine out on stream.
Neither can I.
Yours is at least below the table.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I got you lots of juice.
Yay! I have all the juice, guys.
Yes,
Yay,
juice is
all
the best.
Juice. Juicy juice.
Happy birthday, both of you.
Yes. Happy
That
birthday.
that is from everybody in the family, so everybody chipped in to get you guys.
Thank
So
you, guys.
thank you so much for
Yes,
being you guys.
Yep. Really appreciate it.
Tell your parents thank you for doing it around the same time.
Yeah.
Very
A few
convenient.
years apart, but at the same
But,
time.
Yeah.
I think we've worked out the math because 3 of my sisters are in April. It's birthday sex. That's
Oh, I hope it's more than just birthdays.
Yeah.
It should be like year-round sex.
yeah, well, that's our particular. That's why we're here. Birthday sex.
Nice. Alright, well, anything else before we get started? Alright, well, let's hop right back in. Right where we left off. So,
Where did we leave off?
yeah.
Yeah, we're in the street.
That's-
I'm in between Rox's legs, currently on the ground.
Yeah, you were, huh?
I was.
Oh, I
Casting a spell
totally
between
do
you.
not remember that.
Yeah, she dove down and was like,
No, I did not dive
oh no,
down.
that's
I'm
right.
sorry.
You were already prone.
So we can start there if you want to.
I mean, he's not like a whole recap. We're gonna let him do it.
Like,
So, anyway. Last we saw our heroes. Jerks. Y'all found yourselves in the midst of some political intrigue with a few crime families and the king of the nation that you currently are in. He seems to be trying to fix the past mistakes of his grandfather, his predecessor, and had asked you all to help. You all agreed in exchange for his assistance in an eventual take backsies of Llewell's homeland from the Crimson King. But you all were, after dinner with the king, were approached by Tiefling. Asked you to join her to have a meal with one of the prominent crime bosses in the city. You all agreed, went, made a mess of the situation,
That's not how
took no advantage of anything that was offered to you, got yelled at by said tiefling who took you with.
It wasn't so much a yell, just.
I don't know. You yelled at
She
us.
chastised
You did
us
She
pretty
called us
well.
asses.
Yes, she
So,
did.
Stubborn
Stubborn
asses.
asses.
Stubborn asses. To
Yeehaw.
be specific. Which, you know, it's true.
Yeah.
You all managed to work it back a little bit, decided to take the night, rest up, talk about it, and come back in the morning for breakfast. And make your decision at that point. Well, on your way back to your ship, you were assaulted by a group from another crime
Hooligans.
organization.
Lake pirates.
Pirates.
Yes, they're fucking lake pirates. It's a big lake. Like,
Like the lords of the sea, but not the actual sea. Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. They have access to the ocean. Dicks.
Then why are
Um,
they like pirates?
And you eventually fought them off, scared off a few of the group.
Who did that?
Who?
Yes, Nasara kicked ass.
Like 3 of them?
Nasara, yes.
She's like, I hellish rebuke your ass.
All after Raksha was turned against you all and knocked Yavanna unconscious to immediately turn around and revive her with her own healing potion, but a couple of rounds later, if not one round later. So, that's where we pick back up. You all are standing in the streets, surrounded by these squat one-story wooden buildings. Rain still falling down all around you, about ankle deep in mud.
Did S get murdered or did
She ran.
She ran. Okay.
Yeah, she ran.
Did she run into the building or she?
She ran back into the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was her
that-
and then the halfling got away, right?
The halfling went.
Oh,
well,
no,
That was
yeah,
after.
he got
That's
away.
after she.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was
building.
no, not knocked off. Tried to hit the halfling
Ran off.
and fell off.
At least you're just like, can I get some help?
And then
Yeah.
sneak attacked somebody.
Roll.
It was that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah, and then I tried to chase after the halfling, that didn't work.
Yeah, he disappeared.
So yeah, my contribution to this fight was really awesome.
Mine too.
And there's also a half orc that took off running. That after you hellish rebuked someone to death.
He was.
Yeah, the half orc was like,
So do we
Yes.
care enough to follow after them, or do we
No.
want
so.
Okay.
It's at this point we pick back up. There are a few bodies laying around you. Nassar, there's just a pile of ash laying on the ground in front of you. It's kind of soaking into the mud, into the rain. Yoon and Yavanna, and Luell. It's at this point you all are kind of just standing around. Luell, you're still up on top of the building where you were perched up. But it's at this point the three of you notice that the half-orc that had run away but a few seconds ago has turned around, dropped her weapons, and is running back towards you.
Dropped her weapons?
Yes. She seems frightened and is running back your way, and behind her,
Oh fuck.
walking kind of nonchalantly in your direction, following behind her, you see 6 people, 6 humanoid figures, kind of following behind as she runs back your way. All led to seeing what seems to be a male figure wearing blackened heavy plate mail, complete with the helm, with the flap that hides his face. And the helm has horns coming up off the front of it. He has lazily dripped over his shoulder. You see he has a great sword in his hand as he kind of walks with his group back towards you. And Yoon and Yavanna, as you see this, you hear a yelp come from, or like a little cry come from the buildings where S and the spellcaster ran back into. What do you all do?
Are you?
Do we know
what?
who-
How are you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're full. Man, you're full.
What race did you say this person was?
Tiefling.
Well, it's a humanoid.
Oh, you said horns.
Yeah, you see
On
horns
the
coming from the helmet.
The helmet.
Oh, the helmet has
Yeah.
Do I
horns. Yeah.
recognize this person?
Loki.
Make it an insight check.
So my axe is still on fire, right?
Well, that is the natural one.
You're
I'm still on the ground.
You're
as I'm
dazed,
looking up,
confused.
Like, reaching up to
You
Rashida.
you see a ladron flaps above you. You know.
No, I probably would have bent over, reached down between my legs to pick her up, and I'd probably be holding her in my arms like Gretel style.
Your white clothes are all muddy and bloody and a little ruined, but you are now being held by.
I think I would have put her down when as soon as the others
guys,
are.
are we running?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see the group from the roof, right?
Yeah. And the half orc, like you see her at this point, she stops and she like looks at you all, sees there's an alleyway that she could probably duck into before she gets to you, turns back. She doesn't seem to know what she's doing at the moment as this group just kind of nonchalantly walks down the road towards you all.
So
Question: is this the same orc that had been frightened during the battle
Mhm.
and had run away because of that? Okay.
So do you
is
all
It's
tell
nighttime,
us?
right? Is it dark?
It's dark, yeah.
It's dark. Cool. And they're approaching us.
Mhm.
And they can see us apparently.
Apparently.
Cool.
They don't seem to be threatening. I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
the
yeah, I'm
one,
gonna-
there's only one weapon out, and it's the great
Yeah.
sword over the one guy's back.
Cool.
Everyone else has weapons, but they're all sheathed.
And they see us, right? We're
Yeah.
not in. Okay.
See.
Well, would like to cast daylight in front of, like, between us,
Okay,
just so there's no hiding. There's
So-
no shadows.
daylight between you and the group that's walking towards you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this radiant sphere just kind of opens up as this daylight is shining down in the area. They just keep walking nonchalantly. The half
Just
orc,
want to be able to see him.
the half orc looks at you all, looks back, and she's gonna try to make a run for it and duck into the alleyway.
I'm gonna trip her.
Okay, so you're gonna move up and trip her.
Yeah.
All right, make.
I'm gonna put my katana out and try to trip her.
All right, make an athletics check.
Fuck me over now. That's a 10.
A 10
Yep.
succeeds.
Yeah.
She kind of slips in the mud as she goes to go by you, and then her other leg hits your leg, and she just falls.
And I just
Face
put
first.
my heeled boot like on her neck, and I'm just like, don't move, dearie.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, you can.
Kind of do that. 13.
13.
Yeah.
All right.
That's nice.
13. I'd say that works. She just kind of like looks as this group is getting closer and closer. She sees her look up at you, and then you see her eyes kind of turn towards the doorway that S and her companion ran into. And from this
We heard that yelp.
Yeah.
Out of there, right?
From this doorway, it's dark. The door's open, but it's dark in the building inside. But it suddenly just gets darker. As this massive, hulking figure kind of pushes his way through the doorway, seemingly holding S by the throat in one hand to these two massive, polished black horns as this wide-chested, muscly minotaur just steps out into the rain. Just and stands there holding us in one hand. You see, he all he wears armor-wise is just like this heavy leather kilt, the thick belt around his waist that's kind of buckled by a steel human skull, and he wears a heavy, like thick linked chain necklace that has a medallion of a wilting rose hanging from it
And you said he like has S
in his hand.
in his
wilting
hand.
rose.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's not good.
And you notice that hanging from his back, like strapped across his chest and hanging from his back, great axe, lute, can't really tell. You see it's got a handle, but it's strung like a lute.
It could be a great axe,
But it's
or it
kinda
could be an
hanging-
instrument.
From his back, kind of nonchalantly, as he just kind of stands there.
All right, I'm gonna take my staff and also let Phantom out, and I'm gonna walk right up to him and like just kind of stand my ground, and just look up at him and say, "Hello, handsome. Is that a friend of yours?"
And he looks over, and you see he's holding S in his hand, and she's like kicking at him, and she's like hitting him, but he's just, as he kind of leans down to you and gets right up into your face, and he says, "That was fucking brutal." As he just throws S just into the mud behind you.
Oh my
And
god!
stands up, just towering over you, even with your horns, 7, almost 8 feet tall, just this massive hulking figure. Is at this point that the rest of the group kind of gets to you all, and as you see, kind of walking up, all of them kind of armed and armored, but the one in the heavy plate mail seems to be leading the group. He steps up to you all and he kind of pulls his helmet back, the face of his helmet, and you see deep crimson red skin, these cat-like golden eyes, and obviously tiefling with the slight fangs, but this marking on his face. What languages do you all speak?
Dwarvish.
Is that common?
Draconic, Elvish, Undercommon.
Okay.
Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, Infernal.
Elvish and primordial.
Druidic, primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay.
Infernal and Sylvan.
Okay. So now you can recognize, those of you that speak Infernal recognize the marking as abyssal, but you
Okay.
don't understand what it says. But it says black marking that absorbs all light. Like you would think it'd be a tattoo, but there's zero reflection. Like it absorbs all the light
Whoa.
on the skin. And
You said
basically
female, or you said male?
male. Yeah. And he stands up and he looks at you all. He's about average height, about maybe the same height as Raksha for a male. He looks at you all and he says, "Well. Welcome to Ostenbar."
I was gonna peek over the roof. Should we all come down now?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Maybe stay up there so you have a good vantage point.
Cool beans. I'll just kind of watch.
Yeah. So this is quite the welcoming party. Might I ask who you are and your business with us?
Absolutely, you may. As he kind of he takes the greatsword off his back and he just jams it into the mud as it kind of, and he kind of bows deeply to you all. And he says, "I'm Victory. My friends call me Vic."
I like Nazar can't help but like
Why does that sound familiar?
smirk a little bit.
Why does your name sound familiar?
Oh, I'm sure you've heard many tales about the Horde, as they call us.
Oh, yeah.
We might have heard.
We were only just talking about one word.
I step up and I bow deeply as well, and I say, is it Scalius? Scalus. And I take a deep bow and I say, nice to finally see you in person.
He looks at you and says, "Oh, you must be Ivana. It seems
In the flesh.
your lover's protection has not granted you much here in this situation."
I don't need his protection.
Good. I see that. Well done. I thought we would come offer a hand since we just stopped another band of these ruffians from trying to steal your ship.
We don't need protection against the ruffians.
We do appreciate you
They
stopping
were trying
them.
to steal your ship.
Yes,
Yes,
we do
thank
appreciate
you.
you stopping
doesn't?
the thieveries.
No.
They were trying to steal the ship. You stopped them.
Thank you. We
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
Very welcome.
What is it we can do for you, Vic?
Oh, I just wanted to come and extend my hand in greetings and say hello.
Hello.
Put a face to the name. I'm sure you've heard much about us from
There are
others.
rumors, of course, yes.
Of course there are. There's always rumors.
No, we left the king's palace like a few hours ago, and now this.
We're popular.
We're
Word
Travis
gets
Nest.
around Oslavar very, very quickly, especially when you fly over the city in broad daylight in an airship.
What can I say? We like to make an entrance.
I
How
very much
did
like
your
to make
Minotaur
an
friend get around and behind us and into the building?
He's very fast, and when he wants to do something, he does something. And I sent him your way a little bit earlier.
I just turn to the Minotaur and yell since I'm assuming he's a few feet away.
He's probably like 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah. Hi, Minotaur! What's your name?
As he kind of like, he's like looking down at Ness as she's trying to kind of crawl away, as he puts this big old hoof just right in the center of her back, just pushing her into the ground, and goes, "Brutus."
Makes sense.
He just kind of looks.
It's a nice necklace you got there. Where'd you get that?
Shadowfell.
Interesting.
Yeah. She gave me this too. As he reaches back and he pulls this like great axe. You see, it's a double-headed great axe that seems like strung like loot.
Yep.
As he kind of pulls it around, he says, "She gave me this too. It's fucking brutal."
What do you do with it?
It looks like it. You play?
Do you fight or play with it?
A little bit of both.
Can I see?
All the
No.
things. What happens if you fight with it and you break a string? What happens?
It's never happened before.
Really?
Whoa.
Those must be pretty strong strings.
Yeah. As
But
he kind of like leans to his right as you hear this.
Well, I mean,
Can you
it was
play-
given to him by a goddess. I'd imagine.
Will you
Oh,
play?
Not right now. No need to.
Oh.
What if we ask really nicely?
Maybe later.
Okay.
I'm chatting up Vic
Okay.
at this point. Just,
Okay.
you know, kind of trying to schmooze a little bit, but play coy, like, oh, so, you know, we've heard rumors of the great work you're doing. Blah, blah, blah.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Well, let's
blah, blah.
decide like inside, like
Okay.
behind that group, I guess.
So you look like the picture from Volos. Hanging off the side of the building.
Yeah. So I kind of like skitter down, like peek around the corner from the alleyway, and
Okay.
just watch them.
Just two big old ears.
It was an 11.
11. As he's just kind of like, the good works I'm doing, I'm sure that's what you've been told.
Well, why don't you fill me in on the things that you're doing? I mean, rumors have a way of painting someone in a bad light, usually.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree with you, but don't think this is the best time or place for a conversation of that magnitude. As he kind of looks around, it's raining. You guys are in a hostile district to him.
Well, why don't you escort us somewhere that's a little bit more comfortable?
I mean, back to Deegan, where I've taken hold.
Maybe somewhere that's friendly ground for all of us.
Well, I can't think of much of that from me. What do you have in mind?
I mean, I do know a nice warm airship that just docked here. If the ladies would be so kind.
Excuse me, are you volunteering our airship to
I
have
mean,
multiple new strangers go onto it?
we can all go to their place with all the people they know and a place they're very familiar with. I'm sure that would be very nice. Or we can take Vic here and perhaps one more, if Brutus would be so kind.
As you kind of look back over, he has the blades of the axe kind of around S's neck as he's kind of like pushing your head into the mud. Huh?
Those two back to your place. But, I mean, I don't want to overstep my boundaries.
They did just save the ship.
As Brutus says,
According
can
to
we
them.
can we bring this one too? As he points down to S.
What do you want with her?
Well, Vic says she's a gift for you all.
Oh, I don't want that.
We don't take gifts and the no peoples.
No slaves.
You do.
Not even like a prisoner?
You
Okay.
do realize that if we take her as a gift, we can like just be like, you owe us now, bye.
Yes, let's not be too hasty. Perhaps she has some information for us that she'd be
Yeah.
more than willing to share.
And we're
As-
also getting information. She's
Yes.
just not.
I think we are all on the same page that we do not trade in people and prisoners and slaves, and I think we're all on that same page.
I think maybe you misspoke. Not a gift of this person being ours, but a gift for not letting them escape and for letting us question her.
That's true.
Sure.
Yes.
I'll
Okay,
do some
perfect.
as a gift,
As Vic
everything
kind of
else is
stands
reserved.
back and he's just like, that's exactly what I meant.
So I'm gonna whisper into the ring. So just how does everybody feel about this?
I say let them come.
It's nothing says we need to go onto the ship. We can just meet on the dock.
What's the better of two evils? I'd rather not walk into their territory.
I'll whisper
That's
back
true.
into the ring. If it's just the two of them, we
But-
outnumber them.
What's also to say we can't just continue talking right here?
We're in enemy
Yeah,
territory.
yeah.
We just got attacked, and some of us
I'll
aren't
keep like
doing too
chatting
hot.
him up. over
I am definitely not doing too hot right now.
Do I know of any like off-beat taverns or inns that aren't super popular? Kind of keep your head down. No one's really gonna pay attention to
Make a
you.
history check.
Dice, you're fucking me over, and I don't like it. 5.
All the growls.
Five.
Oh.
I mean, all the taverns that you know of are controlled
Okay.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it's just those two and the lady prisoner.
Yeah.
I say that's fine.
I do have one question for you, Vic. Would you be willing to let us check you for any magical means or trappy things or anything suspicious before we take you onto our ship?
Can we frisk you, perhaps?
Basically, it's what
So
I'm
Vic
asking.
leans back and says, you all can frisk me as much as you would like. And Brutus is like,
Frisk?
you hear Brutus go, what is a frisk? Is it brutal?
Perhaps our
It
friend
can
Ewan
be.
here can show you.
Yeah, it's making sure you have nothing stuck inside of you in any weird places.
He like kind of pulls the skirt a little bit and he kind of looks and he
Oh my god.
But I don't.
Exactly.
Okay.
You passed. Good job.
Congratulations.
As you hear S like lets her up to breathe for a second and then puts her shirt back on.
Since you said she's a can I have her now, please?
Sure. He kind of puts the axe blade in the mud and puts it down, kind of grabs and you hear as he pulls her out of the mud. She comes out just face first, just mud dripping off her. He kind of
I'm just gonna wipe her face off real quick and then just grab her hands.
okay. So you take her.
To the ship. Well, we gotta frisk him first.
Oh yeah, we gotta
See what
fix
they
it
have.
first. Alright.
Vic is.
Alright.
How does
Yeah,
frisking
we'll
work?
frisk.
Yeah. I'm more concerned
I
about
have-
magical things.
I have like detect magic.
yeah, well, I'm and I'm
Yeah.
saying this like secretly kind of thing, but I'm just more concerned about things that they could like listen in on the ship with or messages, communication.
Who else
do you
can
wanna
cast
cast
attack
truth?
magic?
I'm
You
more
wanna cast
worried.
detect magic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more worried about magical things because physical we can handle, no problem.
we can
But I don't
affect
understand the
weapons
magics.
outdoors, yeah.
So you cast detect magic, and you see that all that's magical on Brutus is the axe. That's it. It's the only thing that kind of glows with magical energy. It's just the axe. On Vic, notice that the sword is kind of sticking in the mud. That does have an aura to it of evocation, like damaging type spells, kind of stuff. His armor has an aura of abjuration, defense magic, and he has this red cloak on his back. That's on the wrong page here. Wait a second, guys. That I believe is transmutation, but nothing that you get the sense that it's.
None
for-
of the other peeps that
Nope.
are with them.
There are no. You get no aspects of divination.
Okay.
Well,
Lay that.
let's
Make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. Uh, 16.
16. As you kind of like looking through everybody, you notice that kind of in a fading light around like kind of Yavanna, not something that she's wearing, but looks like something that was possibly cast on her. You do get this divination as it kind of wears off. Fades away.
So, to the ship?
Yeah.
Let's go to the ship.
Okay. So you all take S, Vic, and Brutus back to the ship with you?
yeah.
Okay. So you guys were almost out of the wedge anyway, and from there it's probably a 10-15 minute walk to get up to the ship. And as you kind of walk through the town, it's still deserted. You do see the lighthouses burning kind of right where the ship is docked. You make your way towards the ship, and as you kind of walk up to the docks, you do walk up on what looks like there was a fight. And you see that there are a few bodies kind of strewn about the place. One looks like it's cleft in twine.
Any others?
Huh?
Any others?
Nope. All of them seem to be people you don't know. And you notice that the ballista on the ship are manned.
I am going to lean over to S since I'm holding her and just be like, so, do you recognize these lots?
She doesn't answer. She kind of like puts her head down and keeps walking.
Can I just try to read her like facial expressions to see if she showed any kind of like
And make an
sadness or
insight
empathy
check.
or anything? Because I'm so good at these, yeah. Roll 14 plus. Oh, I'm actually decent at this. 18.
18. You see her look at a couple of the bodies on the ground, and you do notice that there's a reaction of, and it's strange. It's not like shock or fear, but it's of recognition.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean it's part of her crew, just that she recognizes them though. Okay.
And his cape is conjuration.
I'd like to check the bodies to see if there's anything useful or interesting on them.
Make an investigation check.
Before S has to witness all of this, I'm just gonna start marching her up towards the gangplank.
18.
18. Looking through the bodies, you find assorted weapons of varying degrees of wear. Mostly rapiers. There's a few daggers, light armors here and there. But with that, you do find one greater healing potion and 2 regular healing potions.
I'm trying, during the walk, I'm trying to see if Vic will kind of offer up any information about the things they've been doing or kind of like what, I don't know, what his idea.
I'm walking with you because I
Okay.
definitely want to also know more
So
about.
are
I'm
you
doing
just-
like I slipped my arm like through his, like escorting him.
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing.
I mean, I'm not doing that, but
Yeah.
All of the arm candy.
So make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Not with advantage, but you're helping the DC because you already failed the persuasion check. So
Persuasion. 28.
28
whoa.
fails. No, yeah. As you're kind of like
The frisking helped.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
As you're talking to him, he kind of leans in, he's like shoulder to shoulder with you, and he says, I'm just here to make a difference.
What kind of difference do you want to make? There are many people that want to make a difference in this town.
Oh yeah, everybody wants to make a difference. Well, to be honest with you, he's kind of talking low because you're out in the public
Yeah.
and you can't hear this. He seems to be comfortable around the tieflings. He says, to be honest with you, I was paid to come here and bring chaos to the crime families, which I have done. And if all goes well, I win, we get paid, and I go elsewhere.
So you haven't actually been paid yet?
Oh, we've gotten a down payment.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, you wouldn't work
Expenses.
for free, I'm sure. Yes.
No, absolutely not.
So, on a personal note, do you agree with what you're doing, what you've been hired to do, or is it just a job that you're being paid to do? Do you have a vested interest?
In one life, I wouldn't have, but in this life, I can see the merits of it.
Where are you from, Vic?
From Stormguard.
Never been.
Should go sometime. It's a horrid place. Always raining, dreary.
Well, I would like to try to get on the ships before the majority of the gaggle.
Mhm.
So I want to go find what is our dwarf man?
Zagal.
Zagal.
Yeah.
I wanted to call him Zaggle. I knew that wasn't right.
Zaggle.
Zaggle.
Please call him that.
Well, I would like to go find Zagal.
And easy enough being at the back so you can get up to the ship as fast as anybody else. You're let on board as the full crew is on deck, and they seem to be armed, not armored, but armed, and the ballistas are all manned. And you do see Zagal, he's on top of the deck, and he seems to be kind of in charge as things are kind of dying down. People are still kind of weary. There are a few people that are kind of resting, but for the most part, it seems to have died down, and Zagal is just kind of like consoling a few people as you come up. He says, well, thank the gods.
So, what has happened?
Well, them folks out there, they showed up, tried to take the Hellcat, I presume, tried to kill us folk. But as he kind of looks up and he sees the rest of them walking your way.
Jason Fisher with a resubscription for 8 months.
As he looks up and he says, they were stopped by his folk, as he points back down towards Vic.
They also met us and helped us stop a couple of what we presume are from the same group. The people stopped one from escaping so we could do some questionings. Is offered to speak to them here on the ship since it is most mutual grounds with big city politics and all that stuff. Not trusting them, so, but not trusting them.
I'll have Z keep an eye on y'all.
Thank you. Oh, well, I also wanted to give you this, and she's going to take Zan's ring off and give it to him. Is a ring to speak to us if we are apart. That way we can avoid situations of this nature.
Thank you.
Thank
He
you.
kind of puts it on his middle finger on his left hand. He says, thank you. He kind of It's tiny for Zan's hand as he puts it on. It kind of stretches over his fingers, chubby dwarf fingers. Puts it on.
It's purely lending. It was Zan's, but we figure Zan is not here, and Luau has no need for two forms of communications.
If we ever see her again, we'll give it back to her.
Thank you, much appreciated. But everybody's okay?
Everyone's fine. No one got hurt.
Okay. Then we will go about our businesses.
Thank you.
So I would have followed up behind her and found one of the crewmen. See if they can bring up a table and like chairs up to the top deck because I don't want them going.
Yeah, we
below
don't need to
deck
go
with
below
us.
deck. Yeah.
Okay, so it is raining, but if,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, okay.
We've all been in the rain for like
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
now.
Plus, it's a ship. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
sails, there's tarp, there's.
Yeah.
There's
We
a
can,
little cover, but
we
not
can
a whole
set
lot,
something
yeah.
up for cover if we want
But
it.
yeah, someone brings up a table and some chairs as everyone kind of comes on board. Enough for you all to sit, kind of 2 tables kind of put together and some chairs in the rain. Zagal sets up a watch. A few of the crew go downstairs to sleep as everyone else is 4 stay up and man ballista. But yeah, you all sit down. Vic kind of stands at the gangplank before he gets onto the gangplank to walk up to the ship. And he kind of stops Brutus from walking up. He just looks up at you all.
Fine.
Permission to come aboard.
Permission granted.
Thank you. As he steps on the ship, he walks up onto the ship, and then as Brutus follows behind,
Yeah.
steps on the gangplank, and the whole boat just kind of rests a little bit as he's.
Oh my god.
If you break my ship, you're paying for it.
All right.
Don't encourage him.
Yeah.
So you all sit at the table. Vic kind of sits and he takes his helmet off, revealing that the horns on his helmet just kind of cover the horns as he lifts it off and sits on the ground next to him. And he lays the great sword on the table in front of him and kind of pushes it farther from him and more close towards you guys to kind of the showing of
Yeah.
faith. Like, this is my weapon.
What is the sword like? Very. Is it like adorned with? Is it like cool looking? Is it just a plain sword? Is it how cool is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Looking at it, without rolling, because you're sitting right there looking at it, it at first glance it looks like a normal greatsword. Blades about yay thick,
Okay.
heavy greatsword. It has a simple iron crossguard, with twisting iron bands kind of coming out from the center of it. Leather wrappings on the handguard that lead to what looks like a heart on the pommel.
Okay.
And then you see there's something etched in the center of the blade. Make an investigation check.
Quick question: are we talking literal heart or heart?
Like heart.
Okay.
Stylized heart. A 3D looking
Yeah.
Valentine's Day heart.
No,
Nope.
we can't.
Okay, looking at it, the shadows.
It's dark
yeah,
and
it's dark.
raining and
yeah.
Alright. When we were walking, did I notice any other adornments or symbols on him? You said that Brutus was wearing like a wilted rose,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Was anyone else?
Nope, just him.
Okay, okay.
Vic does have an amulet
Okay.
on his neck that has a pendant on it with 2 crossed axes.
Wasn't that the symbol of?
Was that Zan's?
Zan's? Oh. They're an inclusive bunch.
Sits in the chair. Says, "This is a nice, fine ship." As looking around, like it looks like the base ship. It's not fancy. It doesn't.
No,
Look,
it's-
yeah. There's nothing attuned to it at the moment, so it's kind of shrunk down to its normal size. And this is nice.
I'm like fighting the urge to go put
It
my
is.
staff in it.
We like it.
Well, how's thoughts?
Are you saying this out loud or in the rain or?
Yes.
Luel has thoughts.
Because I
We
have
all
my
agree with a 2-second
Hearth of
delay.
Moonlight thing, which makes it so people can't, from the outside, can't see people. Should I try to cast this so
That might be a good idea.
So they won't see us speaking to them?
Well, since
Yeah.
we are now having a very visible meeting.
Probably.
Yeah. However, I'm sure all the spy networks already saw him walk up with us, so.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's go and see quietly cast her hearth of moonlight and shadows.
So you
People
see.
that are not on the ship cannot see us.
You see what little moonlight kind of peeks through the clouds, kind of clings around you all, and kind of mixes with the shadows. And there's this shimmering. It's a little unsettling. You can't really. You can't see anything per se, but something's distorting the realm around you, giving you a sense that something is taking hold. What do you all say?
Did anybody like bring out like wine?
Oh,
or
I'm
food,
We
or,
would
like-
have requested
okay.
it. Yeah, we would have. Yeah.
I'll like go around and pour it for everybody.
Okay.
and-
All right, you pour like a goblet of wine for everyone.
Mhm.
Vic, he properly takes the wine, nods, takes a quick sip. Brutus is like,
Another!
I refill his, and I kind of sit like off to the side of everybody, not really on one side or the other, just kind of off.
Okay. Vic looks at all of you and says, well, you all are in quite the mess, aren't you?
Are we? Yeah. It doesn't seem to me like we're in any kind of mess.
I'll look
You
around
seem
the
to
ship
think we
and-
are. Yeah. Is there something that you know that we don't?
You seem to underestimate the situation that you all are in.
Well, why don't you explain it to us?
Yeah. Enlighten us.
We are new to big city. We do not understand the comings and goings of the city speaks that you.
Okay. Well, in that case, let me tell you, since you all seemingly have come from Marsteyer's hideout, that you might be trusting him a little bit?
He asked us to meet us. We met.
And you're asking to meet us.
We met.
I did not ask to meet you. I came to offer assistance.
But is not the first thing that you do when you're in a new situation is to learn all you can about it? So why would we not meet with every different group that presents itself?
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm saying you should probably trust Marsteyer a little less than you currently do.
And why is that?
What do you know of him?
Well, first you're being a bit presumptuous to think that any of us trust him at all. You are a man that is a hired sword, yes?
Yes, I am. Indeed. Proudly so.
Some of us work in other ways. We get paid to do certain things. Not everybody trades with blood and weapons. Marseille provides certain things. But I believe the ladies would like to know a little bit more about you and the Horde.
Do you trust the man that hired you?
The king? About as far as I could throw him.
No, see this.
How did you first come to be hired by the king?
Well, I wasn't directly approached by the king. I was approached by a proxy.
Well, naturally.
Which proxy?
Someone very close to the king.
So, have you spoken to King personally?
I have.
Okay.
When I first got to the city.
But not since being hired?
Not since being hired, no. He wanted a certain level of plausible deniability.
Were you already in the city when you were approached?
No, it was not.
So your name had already been spread far and wide.
Yes, you might say so. Not here, per se, but the Hesda Vale, the Farindir Desert, the Mestapic Jungle to the south. Yes,
Sounds fun.
it was.
So what made you decide to settle and do this instead?
A change in heart.
And what inspired that?
Hmm.
Does it have anything to do with the heart on your sword?
Presume so.
I'm still very curious about this predicament we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
What is your interest in these women?
A
Why did you-
powerful group of people come unaligned to the city that could help turn the tide against the crime that ravishes its people.
Are you getting paid extra to employ them? Did the
No.
king send you personally to
No,
intercept them?
I chose to do that on my own.
So you have your own agenda.
I do.
Doesn't everybody?
To clean out the city and leave.
And get paid, of course.
Well, King Marseillais is not paying me to stay. He's paying me to leave.
King Marsteyer.
I'm sorry, King
Bit
Stormguard.
of a slip.
That was Nick. That was not King Stormguard
Double agent.
is
It's
paying
happening
me.
now.
Is paying me to leave, not to stay.
Does he seem like he's telling the truth?
Make an insight check.
So I do have a question for you then. If all of the crime is done away with, there is now a giant vacuum of power, and you would just leave?
I would just leave.
So what would you envision to take the place?
That is not up to me. That would be up to a group maybe like you all.
I know it's not up to you. It's not up to anybody necessarily. I'm just saying, if wishes were reality.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to stay here and conquer this city and become its king. It's in my tenets, as a matter of fact. But making an exception this time.
Because.
The change of heart.
Which you're also being very vague about.
For reasons.
Yeah, can I get an insight on him too?
Go for it.
I wanna 21.
21. When he says change your heart, he looks directly at you.
Obviously. Tell me more about this lovely weapon you have.
You mean
kind
Delilah?
of slide it over. I'm
As
sorry.
you pull it towards you, you see that there's the carving says Delilah down the blade.
Past lover of yours, perhaps?
You could say that, yes.
Is it really heavy?
It is heavy,
Sword? I
yeah.
kind of pick it up.
And as you're holding it, you feel these little arcing bolts of like electricity kind of like snap at your fingertips.
Impressive.
So, is there... I'm not a delicate turtle, so I'm just gonna say, is there a curse having to relate to all of this?
A curse?
Yes?
Not that I'm aware of. No. Why?
Okay. Just asking.
Strange
We've come across a
question.
lot of curses.
Yeah.
When I think about it, yes, that seems to be quite regular. That's
Yeah.
sad.
Isn't it though?
It is. It really is.
Perfect wisdom spell slot.
At this point, you notice that Brutus has like this like metal goblet in his hand, and he's like,
Stop that!
okay.
Just gonna like stare him down.
Tell us more about Delilah, Vic.
No.
Why not? We're complete strangers. We don't have any.
Because we're complete strangers.
What if we
Oh,
make?
that's the best time.
What
to
if
tell
we make
secrets.
a game of it? Trading a little bit of information.
Make a persuasion check.
Come on. 26.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, fucking bards.
I love that party. Yay!
Well, I mean, we might be if.
He sits back and he says, "What do you propose?"
Do you have more wine?
Oh,
I'm-
yes, we do.
I think we need something a little stronger than wine.
Yes. Do you have something
So
stronger?
I will personally go down.
No,
and,
no.
no. That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to personally go down and get the good shit.
Okay.
And some
remember that stuff that we had?
That's what I'm
really
doing.
fucked us up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I want to
Crazy
say
shit.
that kind of like out loudish. Like,
Okay.
remember that stuff that really fucked us up?
Okay,
Yeah,
you
and
guys
Vic's
do
like-
recall we're still in a dangerous situation, right?
I
This is
mean-
not the time to get drunk.
who's getting drunk? Yeah, who's getting drunk? So I come back with a lot of wine and some of the crazy shit.
The
The
fermented poison.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Yoons.
Yeah, is it? Yeah. Oh
no,
shoot,
no,
never mind.
I'm talking. No, not that. The like, what was it like dwarven ale or something?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
dwarven
that-
moonshine.
The
Yeah.
moonshine. Yeah. Okay, I'm having the moonshine.
Yeah. We ask you a question. If you don't feel like answering, you could drink some of this, and then you get to ask the same of
You
us.
get to ask us.
Yeah.
Any of us. You know what I mean?
And everyone promises to tell the truth.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's begin. I fill everybody's glasses up with wine and like one of the moonshine like glass in the
It
middle.
was like little shot glasses.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. The glass sits there. He says, "Ask."
Who is Delilah to you?
Down.
Besides her sword.
Grabs the shot. Takes the shot.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be easier than I expected.
Like a champ.
Like natural 20.
Just
Nice.
So Garcia gets to ask the question now.
what do you all want with this city?
I don't know. I feel like that's 6 different questions.
Yeah. You
That's
get,
why I asked you all.
No, you get to ask one of us a question.
Fine. What do you want with this city?
Nothing.
Interesting.
I am not one for cities. I prefer the woods.
Good to know.
I'm gonna like sit on my wine.
Who else wants to ask him something?
What are the markings on your face?
Getting personal.
He hasn't even had a lot to drink yet.
I don't even have to ask, like, what do they mean? Just what are they?
He says, funnily enough, it's a curse.
Oh,
So it is. This is about curses after all.
right? Everything has to do with curses.
Not a
Unless
curse
it's
on me
curses.
personally, but my family line.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yes, it's nothing, doesn't affect me in any way. I don't have nightmares or anything like that. It's just
It's
somebody in my family long time ago betrayed the one who made us like this. My blood is not infernal, it is abyssal. And this is the gift. It means unworthy.
So does it just affect one generation, or does it like branch out? So there's like 50 in your family.
Oh,
that have
my
this
whole
now?
family. I have 7 brothers and sisters that all have the same marking.
And then all of their
my
so,
mother,
So eventually,
her
just
father.
I feel like all tieflings are eventually going to have that.
If we're very lucky.
Yeah. So
I kind of turn towards you.
that's why I said eventually. Give it like 5,000 years.
Perhaps.
Very
Perhaps
promiscuous
sooner.
If everybody who has a drop of this blood, yeah, come on.
Your turn.
Why are you so concerned with Brutus's medallion?
Let's say I have an interest in gods and religions. I find it interesting and all. I find yours just as interesting.
Hmm.
I had a friend who had one just like that.
Good to know.
She's not dead.
And,
Look.
and as
Percy has to
Like,
compartmentalize somehow.
that whole conversation, Brutus was like leaning in, and he goes, "Oh, that's not brutal." Pushes back.
I actually have one just like his.
Brutus turns towards you and he says, "Like this?"
And I'm gonna take out my pendant and show it to him.
She's fucking cool, isn't she?
It's one more for her.
Yeah.
Brutus, I think yours is bigger.
It's always bigger.
Damn it, I really miss him large right now.
Vic kind of leans back and who's next?
So, what does your job of the making the messes with the crime peoples include?
Well, to enter one of the districts, kill the occupiers, as we call them, the crime family, and take over, one district at a time. Unfortunately, we're vastly outnumbered and we're fighting for our lives every day, but that's part of the fun.
Your turn.
Where are you from?
Yeah, you could always take a drink.
I'm gonna take the shot.
You can also just be vague and say like somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Not here.
He waits.
Why? What do you do with the innocents in the districts once you've taken in?
Well, we do our best to train them, arm them, feed them, make them capable of defending their homes from the invaders. Do our best to protect them from the propaganda that spills over our boundaries, calling me a murderer of children and innocents.
So you do them no harm?
No. Absolutely not.
What will you provide for them as if they're being provided for now?
Well, if he's leaving, then
Can you say that nobody else in the horde is victimizing these children and innocents?
Absolutely. No one.
Can
I
do an
insight?
insight?
You guys can both make insight checks.
15.
Oh, what about my passive insight?
With that, God damn it. It seems to be telling the truth.
And when I said, who's going to provide for the commoners, because they are being provided for by some of the gangs at the moment,
Mhm.
did he just kind of ignore it?
Hey, I mean, that was the second question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to sneak it in.
Yeah, you were.
He kind of moves forward and he says, "Do you know who lives on Mary Lane?"
I'm married to the Muffin Man. Sorry. It's serious. And
Do you know of Marsteyer's true power?
true power. That sounds.
do I know of
Fun.
Marsteyer's true power?
You know what I've told you.
Oh, fucking shit. There's so many things you told me. There's so many things you told me. Did you tell me his true power? Oh, fuck. Did you tell me his true power? No. Okay. Fuck. This is all out of character, by the way.
Yvonne, she's going,
What the fuck do I know?
She's like saying to the ether, did you tell me? Do I know? Did you tell me?
I'm like going through catalog.
Yeah, like someone
Wait,
speaking to
by the
themselves
way,
will make it like.
Luell, did you tell anybody else about the arcaneness that was on Yvonne? Yvonne, not
Yeah,
sorry.
Detective Honor.
Dang it. I just didn't know.
He's a secretive man.
That's a no, and we clearly know nothing of it.
Do you wish to speak for me?
You've spoken
You've
for us?
Spoken for us.
That is true.
Okay.
And the question was directed towards me. That is how this game works, is it not?
Well, I'm speaking for myself. You seem to know of it,
I do.
and it sounds like you want to tell us about it.
I do.
Well, we're all ears.
He killed half of my group in one action, all by himself. One gesture of his hand.
Concerning. With what?
How?
Fire.
Well,
He was. I have fires.
Marcel was just human, right?
Hmm?
So is he some sort of powerful wizard or sorcerer?
It's my turn to ask a question.
That's true.
Why are you with these folk?
We need to travel the world. May as well do it with a group. Besides, they're good people.
Little bit. I'm just kidding.
You know, Nasara really did that.
I know! Oh, God! Yeah, this are legit.
Totally in character.
I could say all day that was out of game, but yeah, totally wasn't. But yeah, it's always safer to travel in a group.
And they're good people. Now to your question. I've never seen magic that strong. And I once knew someone who basically was magic.
Do you have any inkling as to the source of his powers?
I've seen sorcery. I've seen its power, but not to this extent, not to this level of strength. But could be a wizard, could be a sorcerer, could be a million other things I don't know. I know that you greatly underestimate him.
So if he is this powerful, why continue these games? Why continue running the shadows? Is that, as you said, do you think he has no desires for the throne whatsoever?
Is that your question then, to me?
Anybody who knows?
As I said before, which I could not tell a lie, I don't think he has a desire for the throne. I think he has a desire for power, but I don't think those two that go hand in hand for him.
What about you? You said you would love to stay here and rule this kingdom and all its people, but you're choosing not to. Yeah. That's obviously a big trade to make. You seem perfectly capable of doing it.
You do not want me on the throne of the kingdom.
Oh, I'm not saying I do. I'm
Good.
saying I think you're capable of it.
Oh, I absolutely could be.
And why throw that away? What's so important?
Douse the flame of hope. Rule with an iron fist and strength above all. That was my oath to Gabagir. Oath of conquest. It is my job to conquer whatever I can on this realm in Gabagir's name. Until I fell in love. And that sweet, innocent little girl turned me into something I never thought I would be.
You broke your oath.
I have. Slightly. I still conquer. I conquered the district in which I reside, and I intend to conquer the rest of them and make the king stronger than I am. So I don't have to conquer him, and I can move on.
You think I'm capable of keeping that power?
Well, only one way to find out.
She's still alive.
No.
I'm sorry. Truly, I.
Thank you. How do you get around up here, being what you are?
What am I?
Dark elf, drow.
Quite easily, actually. You'd be surprised where you can go with an airship.
Very true. Very true. Takes guts. I can admire that.
It helps when, you know, you can curse someone or make them burst in flames.
That's why
They
you
don't
don't
tend to bother you.
And then Brutus looks right back at you and goes, so fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And you see
He's in
Vic like,
love.
calm down,
I
Vic
feel
fella.
like this is our very own Groot.
I know.
This is brutal.
Brutal metal.
So fucking
Metal
brutal. So far, he said like 6 different words. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna look at Brutus. And where are you from?
The Feywild.
Which court?
Winter.
Somebody just gave Zara. You're just like, that's all Zara. Like, that's all this. Yeah. Zara just completely gave it away.
I'm gonna look at him and go, brutal.
Stop.
We want
The
our
sun is
ship in
setting.
one
The
piece.
sun is setting.
I was going to ask the DM if, because I have Phantom out,
Mhm.
did he at all this whole time react a certain way to either of them? Okay, just making sure. I didn't think so.
Is it their turn?
It's
So I think
your
we've kind of
So, no, my question is, so this proxy that originally reached out to you, if you kind of give us a name, would you be able to tell us which realm they hold power in, whether it's war or commerce or coin?
Or the King's Dick.
None
Or-
of those things.
Or none of those?
None of those things, no.
Is it somebody that you trust? As much as you can trust
I've
anybody
met
here?
them twice.
Oh, and that's it. Okay.
I'm out of questions for you all, so if you have any more for me, keep reset and takes a shot.
Well has one. Because you said that you approached us of your own volition. What offer do you have for us?
That's what I wanted to know. If we shouldn't trust Marseille, then what? We should trust you? We should.
Not if you don't want to.
Well, what would you offer us?
Combined arms. I help you accomplish your goal, as it's been said, of helping the king. You help me accomplish my goal of cleaning up this city. And yes, you get your army, and I get my goal.
My question for you. I have connections, obviously, with Marseille and with a few other people in the town. If I openly help the Horde of Victory, what protection do I have that Marseille won't use his power against me?
Oh, I'm sure he intends to use his power against all of us.
Perhaps some discretion if we, the ladies, choose to work with you, can be promised.
Sure. As long as you take some advice. Get this ship out of the city.
How did you know that there was an attack on the ship in enough time to stop it?
We've been watching it since you arrived.
I'm sure everybody else has them. Where can we take it? If not here.
I'm sure Zagal would know better than him.
And leave us stranded here. Well.
That's
Oh wait,
better.
do we know that Zergal? Do only you know that Zergal is the ring?
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. We were agreed.
Yeah, we pronounced that.
I
That
offer
wouldn't
you
leave
all
us-
safe haven if need be. With me. If it comes to that.
You all also can have rooms at the inn that Marseille owns. I know that we shouldn't trust him. As I said, I don't. However, sometimes you have to be close to the people you don't trust in order to gain their favor and some information. And it would play into the discretion.
It would, but be very, very careful.
How did you know about the army?
Like I said, word spreads fast around the city.
Yeah.
Every single person that you had that dinner with was in the pocket of some organization here.
But
in
that
the
was
city.
not mentioned until after everybody else had left.
You were right.
So how?
I don't know. I bought the information.
From who?
That I cannot say.
Well, it has one more question. If you know of these things, do you know what's going on with the queen?
Yes.
I heard she's ill.
You have no idea.
No, we don't really know much about it either.
He might.
Make a deception check.
We don't offer information for
I mean,
free.
we really
feel.
don't know what the fuck is going on. That's a 19.
19. Okay. What's wrong with the queen?
Like you said, we noticed that she was also unwell.
She left the dinner early, as I'm sure you heard.
Hmm.
Could be anything really.
I am biting my fucking tongue.
Alright, well. Any other questions for me? Any other plans you might have that I might want to know about or can help you with?
You're hilarious. He assumes we have plans.
What is the quickest
I
way?
like you all.
What is the quickest way to get in touch with you?
Come to Deegan.
How far is that from here?
It's like the other side of town.
What is it called?
Deegan.
Deegan.
You all are here.
Mm-hmm.
Deegan is this little area here.
Okay. So you're saying you don't have people watching in all of the districts?
I do. Ones that have been killed. But I would much rather not have come on board your ship and then have you all go to them.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Do you have plans for the Welts?
The Welt?
Yes.
Kill them.
See? Lua has very personal interest in this particular group.
The Tabaxi, I'm assuming.
Yes, him and his sister.
Hmm.
They're, from what the whispers of what Luau has heard, they are dealing with people in our homeland. They are bringing awful things out of the homeland.
That is where Kadabiri comes from, yes.
Yes, Luau has big problems with them.
I think we all
Do you have any useful information that would help Luau maybe get in touch or find them?
Well, I will say, of all of the groups, fear them the most. Not them. Who stands behind them?
Luau has understood this particular fear her entire life.
I don't think you do. The Crimson King has agents all over Thurania, gathering information, keeping track of every single freed slave. I believe they are two of them. And I also believe that their little army is Army of the Highwood.
This would not surprise Luau.
Is that all?
I have a question. So, do you know much about different crime groups?
A little bit. From what I hear, and it can be bought. There's only one other person that knows more. at Yvonne.
You wanna?
Perhaps,
Just totally ignoring him. Like,
Perhaps it's time to wrap up this evening and say farewell until the next time we speak.
I do have one last question. In your opinion, with your knowledge of the city, which groups would be the easiest to take out and which would be the hardest?
Well, the easiest now that they've been taking heavy casualties this very evening, probably the Midnight Veil.
They also will probably get some retribution from a few of the other gangs for
Attacks on the
picking a
unclaimed.
fight on someone else's turf. So frowned upon in the town.
I hope you're right.
Just for clarification, the Midnight Veil, those are the pirates?
Yep.
Okay.
Like lake pirates.
do they
Super
sailor
scary lake
midnight?
pirate.
You guys don't think there are fucking pirates in the Great Lakes? No, wrong.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying. That's dope cookies.
They're just lake pirates. They're not real pirates.
Sure.
They're lions.
They're
Well,
pirates.
It's been a pleasure.
It has.
Thank you for coming to our ship to talk to us. We are much more comfortable on our ship. Thank you.
Thank you for the invite.
Well, this has been a lovely evening. I'm exhausted.
Also exhausted.
You're kind of saying that. You notice that, like, Brutus is kind of looking off to the side and sees this, like, squat little barrel. And
What are you doing?
Brutal! Throws it down, stands up.
Oh dear lord.
Brutus, it was a pleasure.
What?
It was brutal meeting you.
As he comes to walk off the ship, Vic is just like, it's a big child, that one. Thank you all for a lovely evening. Hopefully I see you all soon.
I'll walk him down the
Okay.
lake. And as we kind of, I don't care if we're out of earshot or not, but I just say, perhaps we can set up a meeting for tomorrow or the next day.
You know where to find me.